I want to switch conversations a little bit now and talk about the plight of COSTAATT teachers. Teachers at COSTAATT, they have not gotten a salary increase since 2012. The Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association is trying to have or to get representation for those lecturers there. I'm going to chat with Justin De Freitas, who is the Industrial Relations Officer for Tutor. Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, Tutor is wanting to represent COSTAATT lecturers.
Yeah.
How is that going? Where are you all with that process?
Well, we applied for recognition, and the recognition was disallowed on the grounds that lecturers, like teachers, are not considered workers under the Industrial Relations Act.
Mm-hmm.
And the Industrial Relations Act is for workers. So the process of recognition is not recognized for teachers and lecturers at the universities, police officers, and so on.
Yeah. But from what I understand, there are COSTAATT lecturers who are members of Tutor.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, we have about 80% of the members of the lecturers, they are members of Tutor. We can recognize them on rights issues. We can represent them if there are issues with non-payment of salaries, non-payment, failure to deal with their terms and conditions of service. We can deal with those. What we cannot do is collectively bargain for them.
So that is the aim of
yes,
Tutor right
that's
now.
what recognition gives you, the right to collectively bargain for the terms and conditions of the workers.
So they have not gotten salary increases since 2012.
That's correct.
And we're in 2019.
Yep.
How long do you think this process would take? Because I know you all are lobbying the 41 MPs to have the act amended.
We are hoping that the legal agenda of the government will include changing the education, the COSTAATT Act to include recognition for the lecturers. That's what was done for teachers back in 1980. They had to change the Education Act to include the process of recognition so that Tutor could become the recognized majority union for teachers. And it's the same thing that has to be done for the COSTAATT lecturers.
But how long do you think the process would take? How long? Because the lecturers, from 2012 to 2019, that's a long period of time.
Yeah, it is. And we are hoping that it will be put on the agenda this year. Once the act is changed, then of course we can get recognition.
Did you all have any conversations with the Minister of Labour on this?
We spoke with the Minister of Education because, as you know, Mr. Garcia was once the president of Tutor.
Yes.
And he was the president that saw Tutor get recognition. So he understands exactly what is needed. And we are hopeful that he would make the representation that is necessary at the level of the cabinet, so they will understand exactly why that is so important.
But with the Minister of Education making that, how often do you keep in contact with the Minister to say, well, Minister, you know, this is what we need to do and this is the time that we're looking at because these teachers need representation?
Generally, we meet with the Minister fairly regularly, at least once a term, right? And the agenda always includes the COSTAATT lecturers, early childhood educators, and other issues affecting the education sector.
Right.
So we meet with the Minister regularly. Our President is a phone call away from the Minister. The Minister always makes himself available to our President, and our President does the same for him. So it's really good collaboration, and we are hopeful that with that, we would see some quick movement with this change in legislation.
As it relates to layoff of workers, I know that a lot of organizations are sending home workers. UTT, for example, some workers are expected to go home in the near future. What is the union Tutor saying about that? Any word of anything like that may happen at COSTAATT? Well,
what we are hearing at COSTAATT is that COSTAATT is trying to rebrand and try to do things differently so that they could attract more students. Tutor is a very progressive institution, a very progressive organization. And that's why we feel that with recognition, or even without, we are willing to sit with the COSTAATT board, for example, to come up with ideas as how COSTAATT might become more attractive to young people. Right? We have some ideas. A lot of people don't know, but Tutor makes a lot of input with the Ministry of Education with regard to education in Trinidad and Tobago, because that is one of the aims of Tutor, the promotion of education. So we are constantly doing position papers and submitting it to the ministry, meeting with the permanent secretary, making recommendations as to how the education sector can be improved.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Tell me something. How many lecturers at COSTAATT are looking to be represented for the collective bargaining?
Well, COSTAATT has about 124, 25 lecturers, and we have as members 87.
87.
Right? Now, the way this recognition goes, once you have 50% plus one, you can apply for recognition for everybody. So whether they are members or not, once we get recognition, then we can collectively bargain for their terms and conditions, and it will impact on everybody.
Yeah, so I want to wish you all the very best in this venture, Mr. Justin De Freitas, International Industrial Relations Officer at Tutor, and hopefully you can update us as to the progress of this initiative. All right.